Today we're going to talk about fairness in sports. Now we're going to talk about it generally in all sports, but what brought this about is someone saying that I didn't understand when I said certain things weren't fair in cricket. I tend to disagree. I'm Ken Lammers. This is Minor League Matters, and let's get cracking. Dude, 3 separate occasions you say rules are not fair. That's a ridiculous argument. Both teams are playing by the same rules. There have been winners and losers based upon stats for years. Cricket is a long game and interrupted by rain, so mathematical decisions are made and everyone is aware of them. And by your own admission, you don't understand the game fully or the rules, so how can you say it's unfair? And you went to law school. Bleep and bleep, fella. Because I don't want YouTube to yank the video. I'm not going to say the curse words. And let me talk about what I mean by fairness in sports. Fairness, and, Mr. X-Viking here has a very basic understanding of fairness. Yes, he's right, I'm a lawyer. And what being a lawyer has taught me over the years is that fairness is a very nuanced, hard thing to peg down. My concept of fairness, and the judge's concept of fairness, and the concept of the other party of fairness is probably going to be different, even assuming that we all have honest beliefs in what we're saying and doing, right? All of us will have at least slightly different viewpoints of fairness. Of course, mine are always right, but unfortunately, I have to take the other people's into account. Anyway, fairness in sports, as I see it, breaks down into 2 parts. First part is about the teams and players. Second part is about the fans. Basically, what he's talking about is a sub-part of fairness for the teams. Yes, when the teams are all playing under the same rules, it's fair in a very simple way. But that doesn't make the game, as it's played on the field, fair. The rules can be fair, but the results may not be. So now we come to the second part of fairness, right, for teams and players on the field. Fairness in a game should eliminate random results as much as possible. Whether it is random results from outside forces, random results from just weird and wacky things that happen on the field, random results should be eliminated as much as possible. And the first 2 things that I talked about that I called unfair were, one was getting points when your game was rained out. Right? You got some points because you couldn't play that day because of rain. That's not fair to the other teams, right? You are, by purely random chance, being awarded points. At least in ODIs, one-day internationals, I don't think that's fixable. That's just something you have to live with because you're playing a whole bunch of games in a short period of time, and the fact that it rains on Monday and you can't play, but on Tuesday it's not raining, but the field is filled with other teams who are going to be there the entire day, means that this bit of unfairness is probably going to have to stand unless you build a whole lot more cricket fields. And I don't know how many cricket fields there are per square inch in England and Wales. Maybe there's enough to actually, you could have played those games the next day. But I doubt it. And so, while it's not fair, it's probably the nearest thing they can get to fair. So, that's livable. I'm not particularly happy about it, but that's a livable result. The other thing that I called unfair was when New Zealand threw the ball in trying to hit the wicket. It went off England's Batman's bat and rolled to the border, and they got 4 points, helping them there and tie it up and go on. Helping England tie it up and go on. That's an unfair result because it randomizes something that happens in the game. What would have been an appropriate result here is that when it's thrown in and it ricochets off the batsman's bat, goes out for a 4, or heck, I guess if it had actually bounced in the air somehow, gone out for a 6, then it would, just be a dead ball because it's moving. And this is something that I've had plenty of people tell me and heard announcers say the same thing. It's not within the spirit of the game that if it hadn't rolled all the way to the border, nothing would have happened. There would have been no further running or anything and scoring of points. It caused an unfair result. Random act caused points to go up on the board, and that basically took skill entirely out of the game. And when you take skill out of the game, that's unfair. It took skill and strategy out of the game. Skill and strategy out of the game, it's unfair. And the next part of being fair for the teams is, under the rules as they are played out, the best way to do a game is that at some way or manner, one team actually playing according to the rules and with its skill and strategies surpasses the other team. In that, the way you win cricket and most other sports is that you score the most points. That is the optimal way to decide any game. And yes, we had one super over. We could have had another one. And I know that cricket gets played at night some places, folks. So while maybe these older fields in England just aren't putting up lights, I didn't look back at the field. I don't know whether it had them or not. I think there was enough light from what I saw that they could have played another super over, maybe 2 more super overs. And by that time, somebody would have outscored the other team. And we'd have had a real championship. Just stopping and selecting a team based upon one sort of statistic over other statistics is a way of deciding a game based upon the strategy you prefer, not the performance of the teams. Let's be clear here. England won because either through its skill or strategy, it got more 6ers and more 4s. New Zealand got more points by running people back and forth between the wickets. Both valid strategies, and we don't know which one of them should have worked out better. We don't. Because at the end, they awarded the game to England because it played the strategy which was favored by whoever chose what stat would win the game. That's not fair. Pretty much straight up not fair. Until it got dark enough that the ump went, nope, that's it, we're not playing anymore, somebody's going to get hurt. That match should have gone on until it was finished. And the fact that it didn't is an unfairness. That being said, of course, I know I'm the dumb American and all this sort of stuff. Those of you who hate me because of the comments I've made about cricket, comment below. Those of you who agree are free to comment too. If you like what you've seen here, subscribe. If you really like it and you want to get my intermittent ramblings that I put up every so often, hit the bell over there, I think it is. I don't know, maybe it's over there. So you get notifications when I put up things. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for my next post, if you got a little bit of spare time and you got a little bit of spare money, go watch some minor league sports, folks. It's a lot of fun. They're out there for all sorts of things: soccer, baseball, basketball now, hockey. During the summers, there's lacrosse. No excuse to be sitting in front of your TV watching reruns of the Brady Bunch when you could be out having a lot of fun at a stadium. And with that, I'm going to wish y'all a good week, and ma salama, y'all.